Hi, Joey Chris here with Professional Contractor Supply with another PCS safety update. So today's topic is compatibility of fall protection goods between manufacturers and that of the functionality of those products out in the field. So before we go any farther, let's define compatibility. What it really means is harmonious operation between individual elements, meaning will brand A work with brand B? So we want to know, can we put these two manufacturers' products together? First, we're going to have to identify the product that we're using out in the field. Once we've identified the manufacturer, we then need to go online and locate the letter with their stance or their bulletin allowing the use of other manufacturers' products with theirs. Some of those letters will look like this.
Okay, so this first letter you're looking at is from 3M, who recently bought DBI Sala. I also got letters from Safewaze, Honeywell, which is Miller product, and Guardian Fall Protection. They all basically say the same thing, that a competent person can oversee the use of other manufacturers' products. That's the key word. They all give permission to do it, but that competent person is the one that has to oversee it.
So here we have two different components that we want to make sure are compatible. This is a double locking carabiner that will go in the top of this termination plate. First things first, let's verify that this carabiner is actually rated at 5,000 pounds. Also that's new, we have to make sure that these gates are now rated at 3,600 pounds and that they're double acting. What do I mean? I don't want to be able to push on this gate and actually have it open. Two functions to get it to work, so we're going to spin it and open it. Once it's open, we're going to connect it to the top of the termination plate. We're going to find a 5,000 pound anchor point. We're going to add a rope grab to the bottom and the worker is going to tie off to that rope. Now the problem is we haven't checked to see if this was compatible. And in this case it's not. If you watch closely, you can see how this travels up and over the gate. If it gets turned sideways, it can open it, push it, and this can become disengaged. That would be horrible to happen out in the field. How do we fix that? When you buy these carabiners, they actually come with a small pin. Most people just throw them away. How does it work? You push the pin through the bottom where there's a hole and it will actually encapsulate the termination plate, not allowing it to run up above the gate.
Here's a slow motion view of what we just saw. The termination plate grabs up onto the gate, it turns it and forces it open. Not good. Here we have two hooks that we're trying to connect together, which OSHA does not allow. This is a compatibility issue. And here we have a single acting gate, and as you see, when the other hook comes down, it can actually force itself open. This one now, we have a hook that has a thumb lever in the back. If the user's trying to connect into the back, they might think they're connected, a compatibility issue. If we take this same hook and put it onto the harness that made the hook as well, which in this case is DBI Sala 3M, you'll see that that hook does not even fit in the back of the D-ring. This is why it's so important to keep manufacturers' harnesses and lanyards the same.
These are commonly purchased wood anchors that all have compatibility issues we have to address. These anchors are only rated for a single user, but more importantly, in the event of a load or fall, you can only do that in a 30-degree angle. So, if we wanted to be on a deck and move around, this probably would not be the anchors we would choose. We would move over to an anchor that looks like this. This is known as a bull ring anchor and is offered by multiple manufacturers. The only restriction to this anchor is it cannot be an anchor point for a horizontal lifeline in wood. If we're going to do that, we would want to move over to an anchor like this. We now are getting a restriction of what anchors we can use when we're using a horizontal lifeline. Again, we're back to the compatibility issue. Our other option is to use an anchor like this. You would anchor the four corners down and then you would tie off to that D-ring at the top and build your horizontal lifeline. If you want to move to concrete, then we move to anchor that looks something like this. You tie off to the D-ring and anchor it to the concrete. And again, on a compatibility issue, this is known as an RB style anchor, but they offer it in two different versions, one with a 3/4 inch hole and one with a 1 inch. The 1 inch hole is the one that's only rated for a horizontal lifeline. Again, a compatibility issue that the competent person has to address. Okay, so here's one compatibility issue we have to talk about. I see it all the time out in the field. Here we have a rope and a rope grab. How it works is the rope is attached to a 5,000 pound anchor point. Worker ties his lanyard off to this rope grab that travels up. If he was to fall, it locks onto the rope and stops him from hitting the lower level. The problem is they're using 6-foot lanyards to do that. It's not that OSHA says we can't do it, it's the manufacturers who make the product that are the ones who are regulating it. If you read that rope grab, it'll say right on it, max 3-foot lanyard. What they're trying to assure is that we only have a 6-foot free fall. That is covered under OSHA regulations. So what they're trying to do is, if I was to fall and this was trailing the rope grab, it would fall 3 feet and another 3 feet before it actually load that rope grab. Remember, when you buy that product, keep the owner's manual. It'll say it right in the instructions. Okay, that was just a sample of some of the compatibility issues we have in the workplace. It's so important that that competent person oversees your entire system, making sure that these components are indeed compatible. Keep the owner's manual. It's so important. It'll tell you what you can or cannot do with that product. Now, if you have any questions about any of the stuff that was brought up in this video, or you'd like to purchase some of the product you saw, please feel free to contact me with the information at the end of the video, and always have a safe day.